What's going on, people? What's on your mind? No fluff today. I'm just going to jump right into it. In today's episode, I'm diving into my latest music release, In a Battle. Go check it out. All streaming platforms. It's out now. This song, man, speaks to my struggle with pride. Not in a form of arrogance, but more on the opposite spectrum, where you get the anxiety and the depression. That's kind of where I fall on that side. I don't have the pride and arrogance or the confidence of many other people. It's kind of interesting that I don't fall on that side of the spectrum, but still do the music. I still rap. I fall on the other end, the side of the spectrum of depression. The way I view pride, both extremes. One being the arrogant self-centeredness you find in a lot of people, and the other end being the depression, which it's still self-centeredness and a bit of arrogance in thinking just of yourself. But rather than thinking of yourself as being king or god or something, it's you think of yourself on the opposite of that, right? As being a nobody. Woe is me. Why is this happening to me? Why don't people treat me this way? Why don't people see me? But at the end of it, it's still me, which is why I consider it to be pride. That's kind of the spectrum where I fall on in this track that I titled Inner Battle. I explore my fear of being fully vulnerable and the internal conflict of wanting to share the real me, but also feeling tempted to hide behind a more polished, put together image. I have the main verses, which is describing the mind state, what I'm thinking, what's happening, what's going on, and then the hook comes in, and the hook is just a progression throughout the song, where I'm saying this prodigal, seeing myself as a prodigal, this prodigal painting pictures, important you pay attention. It's easier not to mention the truth in the booth, depicting a dude in a suit. And in the beginning, he's a dude in a suit, right, with no vision. And as the song progresses, he's given vision. And he's given vision to see the truth, but he has to choose the truth. That's the image I'm portraying, and I'm kind of battling through the song with this image. But what this song really highlights how easy it is to avoid the vulnerability, especially when there's attention tied to it. So as a music artist, as a rapper, right, my space, my safe space is a booth, right, where it's just me, headphones, and a mic. And so it's easy for me to get in this space and seek to hide and portray something other than what the reality is. The reality that there's someone inside who's struggling internally. It highlights that battle of being fully vulnerable, of being fully honest, and just laying it all out there. This song highlights that. And here's the thing, the crazy thing. A couple months ago, I uploaded a video encouraging all of you to embrace, I believe I posted it on IG and YouTube, just encouraging all of you to embrace who God has created you to be and to pursue what you were gifted to do. Yet, look at me. Here I am with these comparisons and battling these thoughts that what I do isn't enough. I was kind of embracing our individuality. I was embracing just our being in the image of God and made different and given gifts and abilities. But because of the spectrum of pride that I fall on, though I know that to be true, I still battle with these comparisons where I compare myself to, and I know that's not good. I know that's not good. So if there's any of you out there who have discovered the cheat code to overcoming these self-comparisons, please drop it in the comments. Praise God for his faithfulness and his grace, man. I haven't been remaining there. What has been soothing and encouraging for me has been to dive into the Psalms. I like to look at the author of the book or whatever it is I'm reading, whether it be Solomon's Proverbs or a Psalm, whatever it is I'm reading, whatever book of the Bible I'm reading, I like to really see them as human. Because what we tend to do, we kind of exalt these people to some sort of a superhero status. I like to look at these people through more of a human lens, or like if I'm reading the Psalm of David, I like to look at David through more of a human lens. Even though we seek to elevate these people, what I like to do is I like to just kind of see it for what it really is. And the beautiful thing about reading David is that not only are we reading his Psalms, but we can go and we can actually read about his life. Saul is trying to kill him, when his son Absalom is trying to kill him, his battle with Goliath, and mentally what he was going through there. That's what I think about when I read through David's Psalms. I try to see him for who he is. I try to think about his life and what he has been through. And I try to understand what he was going through at the time of him writing these Psalms. And then I asked myself, what was his situation? What was he going through? Like, when you read the Psalm, see where his mental state is. You can see how he's communicating with God. And you can also get a glimpse of what his perspective is of God in the midst of these trials, and in the midst of these prayers, in the midst of him crying out and really reaching for God. You can really get a glimpse of what his perspective is. And so that's what I seek to understand. And then I reflect on my own life and how his struggle parallels my own. You know what I mean? And then from there, what I do is, as I'm pondering it, I take David's words, I take his prayers, and I seek to make them my own. Man, and I find when I do that, when I go through that process, I find strength and I find encouragement. And it oftentimes just empowers me in a moment to get up and to keep moving. I mean, this is something that's been incredibly helpful to me. This is a practice that has been incredibly helpful, especially when you are reading the scriptures and seeing it for what it is. Find encouragement in the scriptures, really looking for the Lord. You know what I mean? And thinking about this video and what I'm sharing with you guys, I pray you guys find value in what I'm sharing, and I'm hoping that you find encouragement in what I go through. But even like this video, life is not always what we would want it to be. Things are not always ironed out and straight and good in the way that we want it to be. But in the midst of all of the trouble, in the midst of all of what we would call bad, we can find strength, we can find encouragement, we can keep going, and we can take our situation and learn from it and then use it to encourage one another. Paul encourages the Corinthians to do just that, the comfort that they've been comforted with, to use that to comfort and console others. So as I was saying, man, this practice has been incredibly helpful, not just in me pushing through the valley, but also in helping to reshape my perspective of God and how he moves in our lives. And the beautiful thing in looking at the Psalms, I get to see their perspective of God, which is a very, very interesting one, because you can get a real glimpse of how they view God. Man, I've found that for me to be very, very helpful. And as I said, not just in pushing through the valley to get to the other side, but in also reshaping my perspective of God and really seeing how he moves in our lives. Because these seasons be dark and very silent. These experiences are like that. They can be very quiet and they can be very dark. But there's always light at the end of the tunnel. Each day you wake up is another day to continue your journey in seeking and looking for God, wanting him to show up. But you must be honest in your pursuit. And that's another thing that I found, right? And so this inner battle that I'm going through, I'm knowing that I have to be honest, but I'm fighting the truth And that's the battle. And it's that vicious cycle. The moment when I embrace the truth, the moment when I am truthful and honest and everything, that's the moment I find freedom. So in the song, I'm reminding myself at the hook to be new. You're made new. And even though I end the hook with a question, and there's a different question at each hook because of the stage I'm in, still it's like, no, you're new, you're new. This is what God has done for you. See it, see your life, see yourself in light of that, and be new. And so, you know, that's the gist of what's going on in the song. And even in the midst of all this, I've also come to realize it's really just a part of a recurrent cycle that we all go through in life. We all come to these seasons, and we always come to these points of silence. We always come to these points of darkness and valley, hardship, tribulation. But we must go through it in a way where we learn the lesson in the moment. So it's like that saying, life hands you lemons, make lemonade. So it's like you take your moment and you learn the lessons that need to be learned. You receive the strength that is there and that's available to you so that you can walk on. And one of the main lessons I've learned too in this is, especially being on that end of the pride spectrum, I've learned that it is on me to navigate through it. It is on me not to stay down, but to get up and to walk. Trusting the Lord, knowing that He will strengthen and assure my faith in the process. Gaining the life lesson, gaining the strength, gaining the experience, so that now you can be equipped to turn and help someone else, which is what I'm seeking to do in this video. So thank you so much for kind of hanging around. If you made it to this point, hopefully I pray that you found value in this video. Hit the like, hit the subscribe, share, and check out In a Battle. It's on all streaming platforms. I'd appreciate it if you check it out, share it, get the word out, and let's be blessed together. So once again, thank you for listening. Godspeed and God bless.